These paddles are a problem. I've been playtesting with the Ronbus Ripple R1 and R2 for the last few weeks now, and man, I have some thoughts. But before we get into that, these videos do take a lot of time and effort on my end, and I would greatly appreciate it if you could take 3 seconds and click the subscribe button down below. It would help support my channel and allows me to make more videos like these. With that out of the way, let's get back to the review. Power paddles have taken over this year, and I originally thought it just wasn't as big of a deal as it is now becoming. You have some people nonstop complaining about how these paddles are ruining the game, while some pros are advocating that everyone should be using a power paddle. And let's not even get into all the drama around Yola and USAP this year. But with several power paddle options now on the market, and now with this upcoming Ronbus Ripple releasing shortly, I don't know if these paddles should be legal. But before we unpack that, let's get some specs out of the way. The Ripple is available in 2 shapes, the R1 being the Hyperion shape from Yola and the R2 being a standard shape paddle. Both of these paddles are offered in a 14mm option, more on that later. Both the R1 and the R2 have a 5.5-inch handle. Both of these paddles are thermoformed. The swing weight of the R1 is 108 and the R2 is 104. The twist weight for the R1 is 5.3 and for the R2 it's 6. The static weight for both my paddles was around 7.8 ounces. And finally, the retail price for the Ronbus Ripples is $250. Out of the box, these paddles are amazing. You can shape serves and hit shots I never thought possible. One of my favorite shots to hit is an ATP or around the post, but while still standing on the court. To do this, I hit a big slice to curve the ball around the post from baseline to have it land in the back corner of the court. I have maybe pulled this off 2 or 3 times in my 2 years of playing pickleball, and I have hit this shot 4 times this week with these paddles. My spin tests for both of these paddles came back around 2,350 RPMs, and boy is it showing. The power is crazy, and the amount of aces I have had with these paddles just doesn't seem fair. So what's wrong with this paddle, and why did I seem so negative in my introduction? Well, for starters, there was some controversy around these paddles as the original Ronbus Ripple 16mm was caught up in the USAP's delisting of paddles alongside the original Gen 3s and the Vatic Pro Oni. Since then, Ronbus announced that the Ripple 16mm was no longer compliant, but later said that their 14mm was able to be released in the future. Now with us nearing that release, I have been playing with the Ripple 14mm as well as my Mod TA15, which is also a crazy power paddle. And as more and more people buy and play with these paddles, I feel like we are creating a problem. It has been mentioned by some other creators that the Ripple starts off in a very good spot in terms of power and then breaks in. Well, I have played against a broken-in Ripple the other day, and my partner and I got pickled. Now, just because I lost is not why I have a problem. My partner and I were both using Ripples, and we did adjust and won the next game 11-4. The issue was pointed out to me by a couple of people spectating our games. They mentioned that around 80% of our points were won in the first 3 shots. And that's just not what pickleball is supposed to be. So while I think power in pickleball is a fun and good thing for the game, especially for the pros, I think we do need a better limit on the power. Several people have mentioned that the TKOC from PaddleTech does seem to be a good benchmark and maybe up to the Yola Gen 3S since those won't get any hotter. But paddles like the Gearbox Pro Power, the Mod TA15, and now this Ripple are changing the game so drastically that I do not think that is a good thing for the game long term. With that being said, the Ripple is a very special paddle. It has some of the best spin I have ever seen and with some of the top power on the market. What's even crazier is the Ripple has the largest sweet spot out of all the power paddles on the market, and the R2 has an even better stability and forgiveness than its R1 counterpart. I know these paddles are going to do very well. I've had a lot of people around my parks already asking about them. The Ripple is better in every aspect over the Yola Mod TA15 and the Gen 3S's, all while at a cheaper price point. The only thing missing is the R3 shape, which is rumored to be coming, but we'll have to wait and see. If you are excited about this paddle, then you should go for it and have fun. Don't let me tell you not to. I just want to voice some concerns along the way for the game as a whole. But I do want to give Ronbus some major props. because this paddle is currently legal by the USAP, and with playing by the rules, they have created what is arguably the best paddle to ever be releasing, assuming nothing breaks. If you plan to buy one of the Ripples, let me know why down below. If you think power is becoming a problem, I would also love to read your thoughts on that down in the comments. Other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.